Hey everyone, welcome to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit, the podcast for everything Harbor Park. If you enjoy our episodes, please give us a like and share it with someone you know. Doing so helps us get higher ratings on iTunes and in turn helps us reach more people and helps them find our podcast episodes so that we can impact more people's lives. Also, if you have not done so already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode from us. Now, on with the show.
Welcome to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit, a show dedicated to helping you find enrichment for the other 23 hours of your day outside of the gym. Here's your hosts, Jason, Dave, and Corian.
Welcome, everyone. We are back with episode 68 of Anchored at Harbor Park. I'm Coach Jason.
I'm Coach Dave.
Coach Corian.
And today we are going to talk about some habits and values. But before that, we have an icebreaker.
I do have an icebreaker, and I'm 90% positive this episode's going to be out this week, right? All right, so this will work. Some of you may or may not know, I will be turning 29 next Monday. It's actually my 4th anniversary of 29. So for my birthday, Dave...
I was very confused for a second. I was like, wait, what?
I got that from somebody when I was growing up. But this past weekend, Dave keeps asking me what I want to do for my birthday. And as I'm getting older, like, obviously we don't go out. And he was like, well, I don't know if you want to do dinner. And I keep thinking all the time, I'm like, well, every time we want to go out to dinner, like, we make bomb-ass food. Like, why would we go places sometimes? So I was talking to him about birthday plans. But I want to know, but all of us kind of have non-winter birthdays, I guess. Jay, yours is September. Dave, yours is April. So as we get older, what is your favorite thing to do for your birthday?
Well, I really haven't done anything for my birthday in probably 4 or 5 years. So that's a very lame answer. Although this is actually my 30th coming up, so I'm contemplating a party of some sort.
Your dirty 30.
Yeah, so...
Welcome to the club.
Right. So, yeah, I don't have a good answer. I haven't really done anything.
30s are glamorous.
I was very sad to turn 30, but I'm happy now.
I don't know. I don't really, like, I'm 36. I'm old, but I don't even, like, really, I don't know. It doesn't really, I guess age is a number. I tell people that all the time. I don't feel that old.
I think it's different because in our environment, like, we just had a class with Hayden, who's 13 or 14, and then I don't know how old his dad is, but he's 40-ish, 45. Yeah. So we're kind of in this mix of young to, we have members that are 65. Like, we spend our time with the whole range. It's like, I think we're able to see that, like, where we are. It's just a very small.
And maybe it's because we live a healthier lifestyle, too, that it doesn't affect us as much, or like we still feel young because we are healthy and we take care of our bodies.
True.
Whereas
good point.
A lot of people say like, well, once you get 30, you're gonna start breaking down. It's
okay, we're derailing. I asked what you want to do for your birthday or what you like to do. So this is mine.
So Jay, what do you like?
I guess the past couple of years I went to Packer games. Very close to my birthday.
Yeah, that's true.
So I consider that.
A lot of times we do a baseball game for Dave's birthday. We did in years past. What do you like to do, or want to do now?
I actually like to just be lazy.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get that a lot.
But I do like baseball games. So I guess going to a baseball game and.
So we're all about like quality experiences. So with my birthday being this weekend, it was really hot last week. It's going to be beautiful weather this week. Dave keeps asking me, I'm like, I just want to be outside. That's what I love to do for my birthday. Like, go to a park, go swimming, just enjoy the day. Because like you said, we're always in the gym, we're always working. So just being able to be outside and not necessarily be lazy, but just be more relaxed. It's like my favorite thing to do for my birthday.
Yeah.
So.
And get a positive environment.
Yeah. So with that, I think that's a great way to lead into habits and routines and values, because my value for my birthday is just enjoying life as it goes by. And
our birthday habits have changed significantly.
Greatly. Very good.
So we're going to kind of, when we get into this, we were kind of talking before we started, and Corian and myself kind of realized when it comes to this kind of thing, we do it pretty differently, which is cool because we're sure people listening will either resonate with myself or Corian, and how we each do it. So it's cool that we can have multiple views on this topic. So we'll kind of bounce back and forth as we break it down. I think we both start at the same place, though.
I think so. I definitely think.
And that is kind of playing the long game and like looking at the end goal or whatever it is. For me, I'll kind of be using my personal scenario throughout this. So when I start in the end in mind, I'm thinking about like myself kind of on the deathbed, like what do I want when it's all said and done? And really that's just a life that was lived to its fullest. I kind of pushed myself all the way up to my potential my whole life. Whether that's with my family or business, personal. And then so I have that figured out, and then I kind of break it down into components or my values.
Yeah. And I have a very hard time being that detail oriented. I'm kind of like I got a general idea of what I want. So like Jay said, we start from the same spot. Like I do have an end goal in mind. I want to live a very long, healthy, active lifestyle. So someone said this the other day at the gym. They were like, I want to live into my 90s doing things. And I said, I do too. I love when I look at these people and you're like, you're 90? Like you have no idea that they're that age and they're still, doing a lot of awesome, cool things. So like that's my end goal. That's my vision. And then how do I get to that? And that's by living a healthy lifestyle. That's by taking care of my body and enjoying my experiences, like you said, as I go. Like, what can I push myself to do? Travel, business, personal relationships, all those sort of things. And so I just want to, like, here's my end goal, and I don't break it down into specifics. I just keep in mind of that end goal, and then how does each day, each activity, each decision I make play into that long game.
And when we're talking about our kind of our end goal, meaning our life, this can totally be like, if your goal is to go to the CrossFit Games, like that could be the end goal, and then, what kind of things lead to that.
Yeah.
That's really what we're getting at, is the actions that, if you do them right and correct over time, will get you to that end goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where I have the most help for my clients, is because we all have goals. We all have a vision in mind. We don't know what actions need to be taken to get that vision. Like, we look at people who are famous or millionaires or have successful businesses or careers that we want. And what's the first thing you ask? Like, how did they do it? What did they do? I don't know. And that's where we need to break it down. What are the actionable steps to then get your goal? Because just saying you want a goal over and over again, it's not going to get you there.
So for me personally, how I do that is I've kind of broken my life down into 5 values.
Nice.
They are family. I better be able to list them all. Family, like business or career, health and wellness, personal growth, and then making an impact in my community, which that one's kind of hard to like define or quantify. But the idea is those should all be, for how I do it, those should all be definable. And then like I have yearly goals for each of those. So health and wellness, like I want to have like perfect blood tests every year. And then for like the fitness component, I want to be like excellent benchmark workouts kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like reading, or personal growth would be like read 12 books in a year. And then so like I've kind of created like business, like what are my things, like what are my goals with that, or like personal finance kind of things.
Yeah.
So I've broken my ultimate vision down into these 5 values. Each of those values have like a yearly goal. And then what I've done is I've broken those yearly goals, like what do I have to do every day, like weekly basis, down to every single day to make those goals happen. So like for me, it's read every morning, listen to a podcast every night, track my food every day, work out 5 times a week. I have things like meet all my work commitments every day, work on like business development things every single day. And then I track those every day. And I can see, so I have a goal of, if I get 90% of my action items, or my personal key performance indicators, KPIs, if you're a business person. If I get 90%, it's a good week. If I get 80%, it's like an okay week, and less than 80% is like, I wasn't in that, like that was a bad week.
Yeah, see, for me, like, I love that, and I probably should track things more accordingly, but journaling is enough for me right now.
Right.
For me, like, I have a hard time doing that because I'm like, oh, well, I'm spending a lot of time tracking percentages, and I'm just not a numbers person. So I'm like a more live in the moment. Like, how does this decision affect my overall end game? And then I'm very reflective. Like, how did my choices over the weekend go? Like, if my workout on a Monday was fucking terrible, and I look back and I'm like, you spent the whole weekend drinking and, you know, not staying on your nutrition plan. Like, that was your downfall,
Right.
and this was the repercussion. So what can you do?
I think this is kind of interesting because it sounds like you're better like making this decision in the moment.
Yes.
Well, I'm very bad at that. Like in the moment, I'm gonna crumble. But when I can think back and I'm like, man, last week I was 60%. Like, and when I have my tasks, my weekly or my KPIs down, like in the back of my head, I have those, and like I think about the numbers because I'm very number and analytical driven. So like the number will keep me on track. Like I got 60% last week. I'm cooking tonight. I'm not going to put myself in a bad situation tomorrow, kind of thing. So it kind of makes me eliminate those options automatically.
Absolutely. And that's going to play a lot into what we talk about in our next podcast, which is great, planning, because some people need that. You need, like, we do have a problem with making these decisions in the moment and, like, making sure that we make good decisions. So in order for you to, you know, control that environment, planning is key for you. Absolutely. Whereas, like, if I do that, I feel too restricted, and then I start like freaking out, and like then I'm like, oh my god, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't how it was supposed to be, and so it didn't turn out like my workouts today that you guys just watched me kind of push through. I had a vision, and if I would have had too tight of a goal on that, I wouldn't have fit. I would have just fallen apart, and I was just like, my goal was to get through it. So for me, that gives me a little bit of leeway to still be okay with my decisions. So, Dave, what about you? Where do you think you fall?
A mixture of both. I like to break my, like, I have a vision, but I don't go out as far as like my life. Like, I know where I want to be. So then I break that down into like smaller goals and accomplishing and every decision I make. So I just, like, if I'm going to make a decision to do something, does it put me towards my goal or not? And that's kind of how I base it off. Like, knowing that if I go out to drink tonight, or if I went, does that play into my vision or my goal ultimately? Yes or no? And if it's a no, then I just avoid it.
Yeah, David definitely is a mix of me and you. He is very much better at, like, on our whiteboards, like, having very actionable steps, like, this is what I need to get done, these are my to-dos, loves marking stuff off his task sheet.
Yeah, so I like to go into like a week with a task, right? Like, I have daily tasks that I have to get done, kind of like you, and then I have, on top of that, I make like daily tasks. Okay, like, what do I want to accomplish today for this week? Like, we have the pull-up seminar coming up at the end of the week, so like I have things on top of my daily things that I need to do to prepare for that. So now I'll have check marks and try to make sure that I give myself 3 to 5 things to do, and if I try to get them all off my list in a day, and then I don't add anything to that list. And like, so if it takes me Monday or Tuesday to get that done, nothing gets put on that list until I can start checking them off. And I love like the feeling of checking them off and then getting to Friday and like I did everything. But Friday is like my fallback day where it's like, okay, what did I miss this week? And I can accomplish that. And that's how I.
But then you kind of use what I do, where like if something comes up in the moment, where does that fall? Should I get this done right now? Can I wait till next week? How does this play into my overall, kind of role? So, Yeah, we're all kind of different. I love that because, we all have members that come to us for different things, and I think that it's really good that we have these different views and these different understandings.
Yeah.
For everybody. So.
Where at? Breaking it down?
Yeah, we kind of just talked about all of it.
Jeez. Well, not much that we have to really go on with this. Some I guess references that I could tell people that I'm reading right now, and I've read 2 other books that kind of talk about everything, the mixture of what you guys are doing. I'm sure you both have read them, and I know you and I both read the one, The Power of Habit. Very good book, and it talks about like those things that you can do and like how habits and bad habits are really crucial to breaking and why they're so addictive or hard to break, I guess. And then I just finished the 10X Rule, which is a really good book. I'm talking about how to be successful in life and like 10Xing everything. So if like your goal is to, I guess, just a quick example. I want to make $100,000 in a year. Well, why would you stop at $100,000? Like, why would you not say like 10 times that and say $1 million? You know what I mean? So then so that way your goal is always above. So if let's just say you don't hit that 1 million mark, but you got 500,000,
Right.
you did.
And it gets your mind thinking bigger.
Yes.
So then, in that example, like your original goal is 100,000, so you make it 10 times, which is $1 million. Probably not going to get that $1 million, but in that thought experiment, you're going to figure out how to do the 100,000 and probably more than that.
And like some of the things that I know Corian was talking about is I think sometimes people we get confused and think like we have to have all the steps planned out. Like I need to have this, and this to get where I need to go. When really like sometimes you just need to jump off the cliff and do it.
Yeah.
Because if you're waiting for the stars to align, they're never going to align.
Right.
And when push comes to shove and you need to make something happen, you will make it happen.
Right.
It's just like, how do you always find when you're broke? Man, rent's due and I got car payment, right? You're somehow going to find a way to get that money to make that happen.
Yeah, like I have all mine very laid out, detailed, like broken down to the T, but it's been 6 years in the making. It's not like I just did it.
So that is something that I just wanted to bring up that's very crucial. Guys, we have been working. Jason said it. He's going to be 30 this year. I'm going to be 33. Dave's 36. We have taken the last, even as a team, 4 years to develop these things together. And I think that's something that is very crucial in our society now is understanding that things do not happen overnight. And people don't come into the gym and lose body fat overnight. They don't get their handstand walks and they don't PR every time and they don't understand their nutrition right away. And, we don't break bad habits in a week. Like it takes constant diligence and reanalyzing and reworking and figuring out. And I think that we get so focused because of social media and everybody posting about where they're at and the good things that are going on in their life, that even though we're so much better about also sharing that darker side or the side that's not working as well, naturally I'm going to ignore that when I'm looking at my idols and I'm still only going to see the good things. So I think that it should come so easily and flawlessly, but it doesn't. I just broke down in my workout 2 seconds before this podcast. Like I was crying in the bathroom. And I let it go, and I'm coming to do my podcast, and I'm moving on, but if this was me 4 years ago, no way would I have done this podcast. I would have just still been in the bathroom being
and I'd have
bitch.
a black eye later. But
Hey!
I'm just kidding. One thing that I try to live by is 1%. Make your day 1% better. So, because if you making habits and good habits and lasting habits is compounding. You don't have to change your life completely in one day. That's too overwhelming. You're gonna fall back, and that's where bad habits come back, right? Because it's like, man, that was so hard. Like tracking your food. If you've never tracked your food, you're not gonna go into MyFitnessPal and start tracking all your food
and be perfect at it.
Right. It takes time and habit to make sure you're logging in and logging it, and that takes a long time. And that's why we say, just a 1%. So if you were, example, just learning food for the first time, let's start small. Let's eat real food first, okay? Cut the crap out. And then once you have that and that becomes easy, then we're going to add maybe palm-sized portions or, okay, start writing it down. and then we'll build off of that. And then as this becomes a habit, right, you made 1% better each day, each week, and that becomes over, a couple of years, like we just explained us being 4 years in the making here. Like, looking back when we first started, we were terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen to our first podcast. You'll know what we're talking about.
And like, look at how when we first started. When we first started the gym, we thought it was all about, hey, let's go out, take the members out, and we'll go drinking, right? And we always went. And then we realized quickly, wait a minute, if we're health and wellness and we're trying to push that, like, that's not a healthy lifestyle. So that had to change and kind of slowly evolve to where we're at now. Small changes.
And I think if you're someone who like has a lot of bad habits, or you've tried to correct them and you couldn't, I think that probably goes back to what we talked about at the beginning, is having like a good goal or vision in mind. Mm-hmm. If you don't have anything drawing you or like focusing your attention, then you're probably just gonna wander, or you're not gonna have that motivation to kind of rein it in.
That's a good point too. Sorry, Dave, I cut you off. If you do have a goal and you still feel like you're constantly falling off, or not able to maintain it and not able to change those habits even a little at a time, you might want to reassess your goal. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not something that you want.
Right.
And sometimes we get these ideas of like what a goal should be. Like, I should lose weight, or I should eat healthy, or I should be in the gym. And let's be realistic. Like, that's not everybody's fucking goal, and that's okay. You should have a goal that just like lights you on fire, and something that you want to achieve, because it will make that change easier and more achievable when we're going with it. But if you're not, you might want to reassess that goal.
Something that's helped me is I get distracted easily by like something that's new and fun and exciting, kind of draws my attention.
Squirrel.
Or like, hey, I want to try that, or I want to do this. And I've always kind of like in the military, they have missions. So like, their current mission is to go do this, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. They go and do it, then it's done, and that mission's done, and it's something new. So I've kind of like started thinking about my work like in mission phases. So like, my mission right now is to get the gym as like a fully functioning, stable business.
Yeah.
So that helps me stay totally focused on what I need to be doing right here, instead of being distracted by other things. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking like that earlier in the year, and it's really helped me stay
and if
focused.
You have those goals, like the gym, we have goals, we have our core values, and every time we make a decision, what do we reference? Is it that, does it relate to our healthy, happy community? Mm-hmm. And we broke those down and what that means, and it steers our decisions. So like Corian said, if you have a goal, like, just assess that goal and like make, like, what does that mean to you? Like, oh, I want to lose weight, but why do you want to lose weight? Do you want to lose weight because that's
what you were told?
Yeah, exactly. Your doctor said you had to lose weight? Or is it because you are just sick of not being healthy anymore, and it's very important to you to stick with and grow up with your grandchildren and see them grow old and get married, and you don't want to be sick, or you don't want to be overweight anymore because of that. Like, those are more defined goals as opposed to, I just want to lose weight.
Yeah, and I think too,
that's what everybody says.
Yeah, and I think too is like realizing where you work well and where you don't. Like Jason said, he works really well with like, these are definitive things that are going to get me to my goals. I work a little bit better with making decisions in the moment, but having like an end game in mind or something like that. We all have shortcomings. Like, it's plain and simple. Like, we know it in our business. We know it when it comes to our fitness. But stop thinking of those as like a negative thing. They are just who you are. You will never not have shortcomings or strong attributes. Like, we're humans. We have plus and negatives. Like, that's part of our balance. It's just how we're created.
I was going to say, if you're only always perfect, you're probably pretty miserable.
Yeah, you're probably pretty miserable, or you're just completely ignoring the things that you're not good at. and they could be in the same realm. Like when it comes to business, like I do great talking to people. I'm not good at, like you said, the numbers and the paperwork and all that, and the follow through on the task. When it comes to my nutrition, I'm really good about keeping good decisions in the moment. But my downfall is I can get hyper focused, and if I do, then I kind of go too far the other way. So it's not that it's a bad thing, but you need to know what your strong suits are and what your shortcomings are so that you can devise a life around that. I don't ignore the fact that I have these shortcomings, but with them, then what do I need to do to make them still part of my life? I use you guys to help keep me on point, or whatever else that I need. So writing out, like Dave kind of mentioned before we got on this podcast, a book called Atomic Habits, and writing out your habits throughout the day and then kind of listing them, what ones help your goals and what ones don't. They're just what they are. You might not ever get rid of them, but how can you work around them or work them into your overall plan?
Yeah, so that goes into our tips and tricks. Something that I'm reading right now is Atomic Habit, and was actually listening to it on the way into the gym today, and that's exactly what he said. So if you have a goal in mind, like Jason says, you kind of planned out like what I want. So whether that's, I want to lose 10 pounds because of X, right? So, okay, so now you need to figure out what habits are going to get you to that goal. So you're going to list out like your daily habits. And that's, waking up, hitting your alarm clock, maybe hitting the snooze button, you shower, you eat breakfast, or you skip breakfast, and you go through the whole day with writing everything out. And then you sit down the next day and you go through everything and you write a plus sign. That means it's a good habit. And then the negative sign would be for like bad habits. So I hit the snooze button. That would be a bad. I went out to dinner went out to eat 3 times that day. Okay, that would be a negative. Anything neutral would be like I took a shower, brushed my teeth. I mean it's healthy, it's good, but
it doesn't get you closer to
correct, and that's an equal sign. And then what you try to do is you're going to look at your list and eliminate those negatives. Okay, so and again, you don't have to do all of them in one day because it might be quite a bit, but maybe you eliminate
Pick one.
Yeah. So maybe you say, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds, so I'm going to knock out the soda. That would be one. Or if you drink 5 sodas a day, maybe you're going to limit that to 1 soda a day. Start small and go from there.
Or if you're like me and have a totally different way of working around this, like some habits you're not going to get rid of. Like they are who you are. Like I said, there's things that are just your personality. I am terrible at fucking waking up. I'm a snoozer. It's part of my life. It's what I do. So I've had to work around that. I've had to readjust what I envision my morning routine to be because I just need to be realistic. I'm not getting up at this time. I'm getting up at half an hour later, so what is doable? So guess what Corian lost in the morning? Reading, yay! But that's okay, because I read at night, and that's fine. I've just readjusted. It's a negative habit, but it's something that I have not been able to fix in all my years. So what can I do to still work around it and understand that it's part of my life?
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we helped you guys. You guys got anything else?
I feel like there's a lot of good little nuggets in here. So listen to this one a couple times.
Yeah.
And then go check out those books. They'll really help you.
Yes.
So,
we should post books on our website. We should post links to all of our favorite books, like Jason's top books, Dave's top books, a resource center.
You'll laugh at the one I just started.
What?
The biography of Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, that sounds cool and interesting, though.
He was just very accomplished in every single realm of the world, like politics, business, like speaking, religion, like everything. He was like world class, and I was like, probably could learn some things.
Probably. I'm finishing up Gary Bishop's self-sabotaging. Stop doing that shit. So that goes well with these habits and values right now.
Yeah.
And mine is Atomic Habits. I'm reading right now. All right, guys, stay classy. We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Adios.
All right, everyone, that wraps up another episode of Anchored. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to share it with someone you know. Give us